Hello. Today we're going to talk about the service maintenance schedule on your W222 or 2016 Mercedes Benz. As you can see in my dashboard, I'm due for service A, and the purpose of the video series is so you can do your own maintenance and then bring your car into the dealership when you have to. This is when your warranty or extended warranty don't cover certain things, and you're able to do those things on your own at home in your spare time. So let's get started. And right now I'm showing you the service A. The service A is basically checking all the fluids, changing the oil, checking the tire pressure, resetting the computer, all the basic stuff that's in the video series for the W222 series. So let's get started, and I'll show you each interval, what needs to be done with your car, and have some fun doing it. In front of me I have the maintenance booklet. I downloaded this from the Mercedes website. You can get it from your particular car. Let's go page by page, see what's on it, and see what you need to do to keep your car in optimum shape. This page here is the general information, and basically what we're going to be going through is 2,000 miles all the way to 150. The high mileage is 160,000 miles on your car, or 16 plus years. And as a note, as your car ages, there's things that you need to look for in terms of leak and stuff like that. Just like your body, over the years your body don't run as it used to. Things wear out, slow down. Same thing with a car. Car is no different. The more miles you put in it, the more things you have to check for. And so we're going to show you some of the things that you need to do to keep it in optimum shape. I want you to pay particular attention to the engine oil and the filter change. That's changed every 10,000 miles or per interval. And of course you want to use the Mobil 1 synthetic oil. The air filter, looking at the chart, it says every 4 years or 40,000 miles. And then the fuel filter is replaced at every 150,000 miles, or basically just once. The rest of the chart that we're going to go through is basically checking and performing checks, but you do have some other stuff, is replacing windshield wiper and cabin filter, other stuff, brake pads. So we're going to go through them. Let's go down. Let's start at the 2,000 miles. And 2,000 miles, the car is basically brand new. It's either at the dealership or it's sitting in your driveway. If it's in your driveway, congratulations. This is one of the finest car out there that you can drive. I'm not a salesman for Mercedes, but I do like the car. As this is my 10th car, my third Mercedes, I do know how to work on them. And then anything major or anything big that requires either to be put on a lift or requires special tool, I bring to my mechanic. If it really needs to be specialized, I bring back to the Mercedes dealership. But that's once in a blue moon. It's not, every time you look around. So hopefully we can get you to save some money. And a lot of people say Mercedes is expensive. No, it's the way how you handle the car that'll make it expensive or not. And I came across an article on the internet, and it says if you take care of your car, if you take care of your Mercedes, it should not cost you no more than a Honda Accord or something like that. And I agree with that statement. You got to know what you're doing when you're dealing with these high-end cars. And so at the 2,000 mile interval, basically we're going to look at the S series, and of course it's not here for the S series because the car is new. This, what are you going to check? We'll go to the 5,000 miles. 5,000 miles, we go to the S. Tire rotation, but do you really need to rotate your tires? Some people do, some people don't. We'll go at the 10,000 miles, or 1 year of driving, and we're going to stick to the S series, which is the third column from the right. And like I said, most of the stuff is checking, but a must is the engine oil and the filter change. You must change it. So we'll go down there, reset the maintenance service indicator on the dashboard. Most of the stuff that I'm going to be going over, we've already done it in the video, except for a few things here that I didn't do in the video. But most of the stuff you can do, or if you don't feel like doing it yourself, you know what the procedure is. So when you go to either a dealership or independent auto repair shop, you won't be taken for a ride. You know what you're talking about. You sound intelligent, And but the DIY video series is geared for the people who want to work on their own cars. And we'll go up to 20,000 miles or 2 years of driving. Engine oil again. Remember, every 10,000 miles you change your oil, and of course you're gonna get the service reminder on your dash. Everything else is just checking. We'll scroll down, reset the indicator, replace the brake fluid. You can either do it yourself or have the Mercedes-Benz dealership do it. I'm gonna have the Mercedes-Benz dealership do it for me, as well as replace the coolant, because I want that job done right, and and I only want the best. I'm not gonna bring it to my independent mechanic. I'm gonna bring it back to the dealership, because if something goes wrong, they can fix it right away. Replace the combination or dust filter. I showed you how to do that. That's basically simple. Checking the brake pad, the front and rear, tire pressure, the inflation, make sure it's correct. Check for leaks. This is what you're basically looking for on your driveway or on the ground when the car is sitting there. We'll go down some more. Inspect the axle ball joint, the rubber boots. This is underneath your car, close to the tires. You want to check that, make sure it's not cracked. If it is, that's basically a break and fix, no computer to reset. Visually inspect the condition of the drive shaft. The drive shaft is basically a long pole that connects the front of your engine to the rear of the tires, and that basically spins. So at 20,000 miles, 2 years of driving, very unlikely that that'll go bad at that stage. Most of your cars, if either certified pre-owned or if you buy brand new, you do have warranty, and you even have the extended warranty. Some of the warranties cover some of the stuff, some of the warranty does not. And the stuff that does not, I believe the video series show you how to replace different stuff. And don't be surprised if you bring your car in and it's not covered under warranty, and they bang you for it. But that's just to make sure you read the fine print, what the warranty covers and what it does not. 20,000 miles, we're checking the coolant, the brake, windshield wiper, all that good stuff. We'll go down a little bit more. Park and brake. Go down, continuing, checking loss of fluid. Main battery, checking that again. Same thing, same checking. Go down a little bit more. Seat belt, windshield wiper, bodywork for paint, tire rotation. Go down a little bit more. Now we have 3 miles of driving or 30,000 miles. Visually check the brake system, the hoses, and thickness of brake pad. Same thing. Scroll that. Engine oil change, that's a must. Every interval or every 10,000 miles you must change your oil. And if you have regular oil, and I don't recommend putting regular oil in your Mercedes, only Mobil 1 synthetic, then the interval is 10,000. Let's continue. Reset the maintenance. That's basically pretty simple. If you watch the video, you know how to do that. Check the tire pressure. Scroll down a little bit. So basically at this point, we're still at 30,000. We're looking for something not out of the ordinary that is usually not showing up. And let's see if we can find it here. Everything else is just checking. Let's scroll down. Tire rotation, checking the thickness of the brake pad. You notice there's a pattern, engine oil, checking the V-belt. So this is the pattern I was talking about. So the V-belt, or that belt that's in front of your car that spins, check if it cracks, check if it's worn out. Let's continue going down. Replace the brake fluid. And this is what I was talking about earlier. For me personally, I will gladly give the Mercedes-Benz dealership my money to do this job for me, as well as doing the antifreeze, the coolant flush, because I don't want to do it. I know there's videos out there, YouTube videos on how to do it, but I'm not doing it. I'll let them do it. And that's a choice that you can make when you're at this level, and you don't feel like doing something with your car. You want someone else to do it, and it's going to be done right. Replacing the combination filter. Let's continue going down, checking for leaks again. Going at the 40,000 miles or 4 years. Visually inspect the boots, the ball joint. That you probably want to, either if you have a hand jack, you can check. But again, even if your ball joints are bad or your rubber boots, you basically want to have this put on the lift, have a mechanic work underneath it. And this is a break fix. You know, Mercedes dealership doesn't have to do this for you. This is basically a break fix, which means you don't have to reset a computer to change these parts. And of course, I showed you the video on where you get your parts and where you get it at a good price. So let's continue going down, inspecting the drive shaft again, visually inspecting condition of the steering. Now let's go down. Automatic transmission. I had this done by my Mercedes dealership last year. So that's, like I said, that's something I'm not doing. So replace the air filter. Continue going down. Engine coolant. So 50,000 miles or 5 miles of driving. This is where things start to get interesting, because this is around the point where things are not really working right. Things are starting to wear. So now we want to pay special attention. Engine oil, of course, every interval. We'll continue going down. Check this. Brake pad, front and rear. Continue. Let's see. Engine coolant, brake, windshield wiper. Scroll down a little bit more. Still at the 50,000 miles. Horn, high beam flasher, all the stuff that you seen in the previous interval. Continue going down. Tire rotation, inspect tire damage, cracks. Go down some more. Brake system, check the thickness of the brake pad. Notice the pattern. Now we're at 60,000 miles or 6 years of driving. Continue going. Now you can actually do the mileage without the years. So you know, some people do 12,000 like I do. My car is a daily commute, and I stay on top of it. So the goal is, before you walk into a Mercedes Benz dealership or independent auto store, you want to know what's wrong with your car before you get there. So there's going to be another video on basically how to do that, but let's stick with the maintenance interval for now. Engine oil, continue going down. Reset the maintenance service indicator. Replace brake fluid. Like I said, Mercedes Benz is going to do that for me. If you know how to do it yourself, great. Just keep in mind that you do have anti-lock braking, so that has to be taken into consideration if you're going to do something like that. Combination filter, scroll down. Clean and lubricate side and roof, which is above your head. Let's see. Check body work for paint. Let's continue going down. Tire rotation, inspect tire for damage, measure tread depth, and that's basically self-explanatory. Now we have 70,000 miles, or 7 years. Now, as a note, the previous car before this car was that I had was a 2000 E320 Mercedes, and I had, I believe, 160,000 miles on it. And I remember I wanted to trade it in for the car I'm driving now, which is a W222 2016 Mercedes Benz S550. And the dealership told me, you know, Wayne, you will get more money if you sell that privately. And sure enough, they were correct. I sold it privately, and the guy that bought the car was ecstatic, because I had a car in good condition. Even the paint, you couldn't tell the year of the car, and it was a 4MATIC, so you know, a very hard car to find for that year. But you gotta remember, 2000 E320 is 20 years old last year, and the engine was running like a champ, and you check and you stay on top of it. And now I have a 2016 Mercedes S550. Do the same thing. The knowledge that you have from one car, you just transfer it to another car. And even if you decide to go outside of the Mercedes-Benz realm and go to another manufacturer, the knowledge that you have is priceless, because you can basically change any brakes. Like, this is my 10th car, and doesn't matter model or make, you take the knowledge, you're able to change any brake pad. So let's continue. 70,000 miles, 7 years of driving. I'll continue going down. Changing oil, that's a must, of course. Continue going down. Reset the service indicator, and okay, let's go to the 80,000 miles of driving, or 8 years. All right, or whichever one is closer. Engine oil, of course, you know that already. Continue going down. Reset the maintenance. Replace the brake fluid. Combination of dust filter for different stuff. Automatic transmission, of course, like I said before, I had the dealership do that for me. And I replaced the air filter. Continue, we're still at the 80,000 miles. Coolant, most of these are just checking stuff. Nothing in the list is out of the ordinary. Seat belts, bodywork, paint, tire check. 90,000 miles, or 9 years of driving. Oil and filter change, of course you know that. Let's continue going down. Reset the maintenance service indicator, and let's continue going down again. Checking the coolant level. Of course you should, always check it. You probably want to do that when the car is cold. In the morning when you're not driving it. Don't do it when it's hot. When you open up that reservoir, that water, that coolant just gonna spit back out at you when it's hot. So you don't want to do that under pressure. Let's continue going down. Alright, now this is talking about check for fluid loss. This is the stuff I was telling you before. Checking your driveway, check where the car's parked. If it's left there and any length of time, look underneath it, see if there's any kind of leak or puddle. That's a telltale sign that something's wrong. Let's continue going down, check the trunk. So basically nothing really out of the ordinary, nothing that's really jumping out. This is basic stuff, just checking for stuff. And if you're doing this yourself, you have enjoyment just checking your car. You go on a long distance trip, you want to check your oil, you want to check your antifreeze, make sure everything is tight, your spare tire. Of course these cars come with run flats, so there is no spare tire, but I've converted all my tires to regular tire and put a spare in the trunk. So I did a video on that already. So let's continue. 100,000 miles, 10 years of driving, and by now you're way past either your warranty, or if your extended warranty, if you didn't renew it, will probably expire at this point. 100,000 miles. Most people change cars every 5 or 6 years, but I tend to keep my car for way past this mileage. Never had an issue. Alright, let's continue going down. And engine coolant level, all you're doing is checking at this point. Okay, and rotation. Okay, all the stuff you've seen before. 110,000 miles, 11 years. Now keep in mind, the less mileage you have in your car, the more money you can get for it. Same thing at a dealership, same thing as an independent. Even an independent owner will charge more for the car when the mileage is low, because the engine is new, the car is new. As you get up there in mileage, now the price is going to start to drop, because they know that they can't really get away with charging a high price for a high mileage car, because at the high mileage car, things break, things wear out. And so you just want to keep an eye out for that. If you're looking to buy a car, or just the lower the mileage, the more money you're going to pay. The higher the mileage, the less they're going to charge for it. So 110,000 miles, 11 years. Scroll down, same thing. All we're doing is visually checking for stuff. Engine oil, of course you know that already, at every interval. Continue going down. Reset the maintenance service indicator, check the brake pad, the tire pressure. And the tire pressure, we basically did a video on that and how to check it. Let's continue going down. All we're doing is checking. Still at the 110,000 miles. Continue going down. Check trunk. Everything is just basically repeating itself. Alright, let's go to the 120,000 miles, or 12 years. Of course, we're going to change the oil like we normally do it every interval. We got the belt. And let's continue going down. And we're going to come to a spot where we're going to actually change the fuel filter. And that's once every 150,000 miles. All we're doing now is visually checking and following the service interval. If you want to change that, by the dealership, sure. Replace coolant, replace air filter. 120,000 miles, or 12 years of driving. Continue going down. Alright, let's continue going down. and nothing out here jumping out. Alright, now we're going to go to 130,000 miles. You still got to check for stuff and reset the maintenance service indicator, tire pressure. All you're doing is checking. Replace the wiper blade. Still at 130,000 miles. Now this talks about the electrical: horn, beam, hazard, warning, flasher, turn signal. Alright. Check the windshield wiper, night view assist, tire rotation. Scroll down. Visually check the brake system, thickness of the brake pad. 140,000 miles, 14 years. The oil change, of course, you know that already. Continue going down. Check the belt. Reset the maintenance service. Check the replace the brake fluid, combination filter. We'll stay in the third column. Continue going down. Checking the boots. And still at 140,000 miles. And everything is basically repetitive. Wiper blades, main battery, go down. So all we're doing is checking. And let's go to the 150,000 miles now. 15 years of driving, or 150 miles, whichever one comes first. That's what you need to do. Oil change, of course. And here's the fuel filter. So basically, for me, I'm gonna have the dealership do that because I read the instructions and how to do that, and I'm like, no. So I'll let them do it. Let someone else do it. And we'll continue going down. Third column. And at some point, what's going to happen is we're going to pass the 150,000 miles, and we're going to go into the 160,000 miles, and which is here. And 16 years of driving. Engine oil. So basically you have a little bit more to do at this mileage. And let's continue. So basically all this is checking, checking. So if you follow these guidelines, you should be good to go. 170,000 miles, 17 years. So basically you checking for everything at this point. You drive your car, you do your best to follow the maintenance schedule, and if you don't, when your car presents a problem, that's when you take care of it. Or if you're like me, you stay on top of your car and you know what to check and what not to. So basically we just continue going down, and we're at the end. Well, hopefully you learned a lot. Hopefully you have some kind of idea of when to change what and why. And this is the manufacturer. The manufacturer is telling you when these things need to be changed based on their testing. And if you follow the guideline, you should have your cars for many years to come. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe and like, and I'll talk to you soon.